Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and today we are back in King's Gondor, ready to continue our journey. It's been a little while since last I recorded, as it's becoming usual on the channel, but this time for a very good reason. It was very well worth it. On one hand, you can see here on my prospector, at least I can gather the Umbari resources. I would have liked to master all my prospector tiers. I know not a lot of people do that because you only need to get the proficiency to gather them up, but I still want to get all my golden anvils. The deadline that I set for myself, I wasn't able to get mastery on all tiers within that time frame, but at least I'm able to gather some crafting materials now, and that is very exciting. And on the other hand, while I farmed my crafting proficiency, the deed tracker plugin got at long last updated, so all deeds we have completed since the release of the Coursers of Umbar expansion have now been logged on the plugin. And let me grab that ore deposit. And something that's really cool about that, something that I only learned very recently, is that you can export your character data from the game into the LOTRO companion app, and then you can import that data to the deed tracker plugin. So basically the app and the plugin will take care of everything for you. So if you, for whatever reason, have not been using the plugin, or a case like this where it took a little bit longer to update and you are still completing deeds, you can use these workarounds so that you can still have your information up to date, but you don't need to input that manually. And I would have loved to know about that before when I first downloaded the plugin, because the very first time I got this plugin, I did everything manually. I was going tab by tab, checking which deeds I had, which deeds I was still missing, and checking them in the plugin. And it took me like a whole evening to do that. It was not that bad, all things considered. I was still traveling through East Gondor and North Lothíriel, but it was still a pain. And if I had known you could do this with the LOTRO companion, you can do that in 2 minutes, and it doesn't matter how many deeds you have, because it's a very fast process. I'm a little bit upset I didn't know about this before, but at least I did now, and that was super easy to get the plugin all set up. So that is what I've been up to the very last couple days. For you, hopefully there will not be a difference, because I'm still doing my best to keep all these uploaded to the channel in time. Not as often as I had done in the last few years, because I was uploading one video daily, Monday to Friday. But I'm trying to take things a little bit slow now, because I don't have as much time to play. And so you would notice I have gone back to the original schedule on the channel. When I first created the channel, I was uploading videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and that's what I am doing right now. It's a little bit easier for me to keep on track with this schedule, and I can still play fairly consistently, but not as much as I used to. So hopefully this will come to you right on time. So now we're gonna look for danger on the road now that we are here on the crossroad. The road seems clear of danger, but someone approaches. A Gondorian guard coming from the west arrives at the way crossing.
The shadow of war is now behind us, and Gondor rejoices.
Hello there, friend. I was expecting to see my good friend Osmond. You're here in his stead? Too tired to leave Tadran, is he? Yes, that happens from time to time. He throws himself into his duties in the morning, and by the afternoon he is exhausted. But his heart is in the right place. Well, I am headed that way myself, so there's no reason for you to go all the way back to Tadrind. You say he promised you a reward? Well, I think I can make good on Osmond's promise and he will pay me back for it. Good day to you, friend. The road is clear and let us hope it stays that way for a good long while. This kingdom has seen enough of war, and so have I. And so have everyone. Oh my god! That's it! Quest of Belfalas renewed. I had forgotten we were just missing this one. This is awesome. Oh, and it's going right into the deed tracker. This is amazing too. So, we have completed Quest of Belfalas renewed. So that has given us a title, some virtue XP. Confidence is capped, and now we are getting points on fidelity. Sounds good. So let me switch that to fidelity. You have done much to aid the people of the Havens of Belfalas in the renewal of Gondor. That we have. And now our next stop, it seems, is Ost Lontir. We are relatively close. And afterwards, we will be moving back to Dol Amroth. Really looking forward to it. Dol Amroth was a great place back when it first released. And I spent a lot of time there. It brings back a lot of memories. The only issue I had with Dol Amroth, really, was the fact that at the time, I think it was at the same time as they released Dol Amroth. With that update, they also released the ability for VIP players to access the mail from anywhere in the world. And they will remove the need of going to a mailbox for VIP players only. And well, there wasn't an official confirmation from the devs as far as I know, but everyone pretty much saw that for what it was. Dol Amroth had like 2 mailboxes, and they were so far away from everything. It was a pain to check your mail on Dol Amroth, but you still had to go to Dol Amroth for your dailies and your gear, so it was something really inconvenient. It was really annoying because Dol Amroth is huge, and yeah, that was in hindsight just a way of pushing, promoting maybe the subscription, so people would go VIP for the extra perk, and it's a very good perk. Of course, I can't imagine going back to not checking my mail anywhere, having to go back to mailboxes. That seems so rudimentary now. So I'm glad that that feature exists. It's just that, back in Dol Amroth it was so painful. Maybe they have reworked the town a little bit and have added a couple more mailboxes in there. That would be great. Well, if not, at least this time I don't have to worry about that one, because I was not a VIP player when Dol Amroth released, as you can imagine, so those were the days, you know. No, I'm not going back, not going down just for that one. We are right here at Ost Lontir. It's been a while since we've visited this town as well. Really looking forward to it. What do we have here? We have discovered Ost Lontir. So we're gonna grab the milestone just in case. Stable Master.
You are most welcome, my friend.
Thank you very much. And let's see. Let's turn in the quest first.
Days of peace have come at last to Gondor.
I am glad to see your face again, Warden, and to see that you continue to do good work. Thank you for the supplies. Awesome.
We must strive to defend our newly gained peace.
During the war, one of my scouts, Dolbeer, helped rescue elf relics from the coursers in Edhellond. I slightly remember that. He intended to return the relics to the elves, but alas, he has not had the time. If you find yourself traveling northwest there, would you mind delivering these relics to an elf named Lathlorn? Along with the following message from Dolbeer. My apologies for the wait. I hope to visit soon. Sure.
We must strive to defend our newly gained peace.
The war may be over, but the remnants of enemy forces remain in Gondor. One of my scouts, Dolbeard, noticed Corsair stragglers retreating southwest to what used to be Avadek's Watch. He went ahead to scout the camp further, but has not returned or sent any word of his discoveries there. You have done much for Gondor, Beriathan. If anyone could find him, it would be you. May my anxieties be laid to rest. Avadek's Watch. Yeah, I remember that place as well. We can do that. And what about you?
There is always work to be done.
Excuse me, have you seen my younger brother Orthor? He has brown hair, wears red. No? I swear I've searched for him everywhere. Oh, I hope he's not upset with me. Just earlier, I scolded him for playing so many pranks on everyone, especially poor old Mildir. I'll keep looking around Ost Lontir, but could you please make sure he isn't at the beacon? If he isn't there, or here or there, I don't know what I'll do. At the beacon, you say? Yeah, let me just check town. I mean, this is even smaller town than Tadrent. There's not a lot to see here. It seems these are all the quests we'll find in here. So back to the beacon it is. I can't quite put my finger on it, but this version of King's Gondor, of West Gondor, of Belfalas especially, feels so different from the one in West Gondor, the original one. I don't know if it's the skybox, well, they have reworked the landscape a little bit, but not too much. But there's something in here that still makes this place feel kinda new. That's great. You have discovered Ost Lontir. Awesome.
Welcome to King's Gondor, friend.
Hail, friend. Judging by your hurried steps, you seem to have much on your mind. Why not stay a while and take in the view? The sight of Edhellond to the north is always calming. Ah, this is the boy. This boy matches Cinedel's description of Orthor. And well, the floating name and everything too.
Leave me be!
I'm not upset. The boy's puffy, red eyes tell you otherwise. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to yell, and I didn't mean to make Citadel worry. I was just writing a letter to Mr. Mildir. I wanted to say sorry, but he might think I'm trying to bother him or that I'm trying to play more pranks. Please, could you go back and give my letter to him? It's very important. Sure, I will be coming back to town soon, so I will do that when I do. This spot offers a good view of Edhellond, a very good view indeed. Smoke from Corsair campfires no longer chokes the air around Edhellond. That's so good to hear. And you can see in there even the path into Tarlang's Crown that would also take us to the Blackroot Vale. We're not going to the Blackroot Vale yet, but I think after Belfalas will be taken there, and it seems the way to go would be through Tarlang's Crown. That would be interesting. Tarlang's Neck, actually.
Gondor has a king again.
Too many of my waking hours have been spent watching Edhellond with dread in my heart. We would have been no match for the Corsairs there. Perhaps that is cowardly of me to admit, but it is the truth. And yet, when I look out towards Citadel now, I feel hope. Did you hear that the Elves are turning the harbor into a garden? May it remain a safe haven forevermore. But Edhellond is not the only place I'd like to point out. Behold Dol Amroth to the west. Oh, that I will. This spot offers a good view of Dol Amroth, a very good view indeed. Just as amazing as I remember it. So what do we have here? The waters of the Bay Glitter, now clear of the Corsairs' dark ships. And that's good to hear as well.
The shadow of war is now behind us, and Gondor rejoices.
Whenever I look at Dol Amroth, a part of me still believes that I will see Corsair ships marring the bay. Despair often overtook me during the war, and I wondered how the city would fall. Our travels are not over, and indeed some scars may never heal. But we are still here, are we not? We are still here. May there be happier days ahead for you, Beriathan, and should you find yourself plagued with dark thoughts, you're always welcome to return here. Yeah, this place does do wonders to ease whatever dark thoughts you might have. So who knows if I will remember to come back here. Who knows where the road will take us next. as Billy Boyd or Pippin would say. And though where the road then takes me, I cannot tell. But in my case, it's still not time yet for the last goodbye. When that time comes, that would be so sad. But thankfully, it's still not here yet. I don't know what will I do without this Middle Earth.
Welcome to King's Gondor, friend.
This letter is completely illegible. The monk cracks a light smile. Thank you for delivering this very important message. I suppose I'll have to go up to the beacon myself to ask Arthur what he wrote. Worry not, I'll make sure to let Citadel know of his whereabouts. Yeah, that is very thoughtful of you, because I really have a lot of things to do. I mean, well, Citadel is right there, but it saves me some time nonetheless. And now our next stop would be Edhellond. And of course this wolf will not leave me be. There we go. Now let me check how am I doing with the tokens of heroism. Almost to the cap. I very much prefer to get to the actual cap and then turn them all in the weekly task. So that's what I'm gonna do. This week the free coupon on the LOTRO store was for an elixir of heroism that will increase your chances of getting the tokens. But since I am so close to the cap right now, I think I'm gonna wait a little bit longer before I use that elixir, so that when I do, I make the most out of it. But for now, yeah, I'm gonna continue as I've been doing. Now, the only thing I'm not so fond about now that my prospecting is also up to date is the fact that until the crafting revamp is finished, I still need to switch between Scholar and Ore Tracking. And well, we are about to enter the porting here to docks, and I think this place it's better suited for Scholar materials, so I think I will be right. But we still need to come in and check. Yeah. You have discovered Edhellond. Awesome. Oh yeah, plenty of notes in here.
Ask and I shall answer.
On behalf of all the Avorrim, thank you for returning these relics, my friend. And thank you for passing on Dolber's message. I look forward to seeing him again. You are welcome to linger in the garden for as long as you'd like. That's what I'm gonna do, and there are a couple of quests in here and plenty of chests. So you bet I'm gonna stay in here a little bit longer.
Mind my words, traveler.
My Govanin, have you seen these weeds around Edhellond? Beriathan holds up a fistful of what appears to be a bristle plant. I have studied many native plants, and not once have I ever seen one similar to these. Neither animal nor pest will eat the weeds, and they steal the resources that our garden requires. Doubtless the seeds accompanied the coursers on their long voyage here. If Kelinet's new flowers are to thrive, then I must uproot every weed here. Will you help me? Sure. On my way to more scholar chests, I'll make sure to weed as many of these as I can. Oh my god, this is like Christmas for scholars. And now that we don't need to worry about any coursers, this is even better. And the actual model of the chest, of course, looks really nice. Well, in general, all crafting resources in Umbar look really nice. I mean, like, they don't need to look this good, because just crafting resources But I like that they went the extra mile and make them so visually appealing. Or maybe it's just me and my affinity for blue, but I really enjoy what they did with this one. With the chests and the art deposit, this cairn. Oh, well, I know that enemy seems to be above. Okay, let's continue pulling out the weeds then. I don't see the chest. Oh, okay, it's in there. Thankfully, we are in range. Calendarion, are you gonna give us a quest? Maybe. Do we need to sail to that island? Doesn't seem necessary. There's just a statue in there, and that statue, I think it's supposed to represent Amroth. I think we got the chance of seeing him in Mordor Besieged, right? It looks so much like him. I'm remembering things right? Because it's been a long while since I've been to Mordor Besieged, but I think that's what it is. And what else do we have in here? Kelineth, of course.
Hail, traveler.
My Gavan and traveler, would you like to plant some flowers? I have seeds to spare. The coursers and Whittingleys carried the seeds of some foreign weed with them when they landed on the shores. As a result, many flowers of one type have withered. I wish to plant more. Kelineth lowers her voice. Beriathan does not quite believe my seeds will survive, but she has not stopped me. If you ask me, I'd say she hopes to be proven wrong. Now I've said too much. Kelineth winks, then returns her voice to normal. At any rate, I have already prepared a number of flower beds around Edhellond for you. Go forth. Yeah, this is a two-parter, of course, we could tell as soon as we were told about the other seeds. Can we get this like so? Yeah, thank you. Music in here is really nice as well, amazing too. Very inviting, let's say. And in the meantime, I continue my scholarly pursuits. Although, okay, yeah, we can jump in here. But the chest, I think it's up there. That's a lot of work for just one chest. When there's so much stuff to do in here. Chests on the other side are already respawning. This location is great. This place is great.
What do you need?
Now Kelineth's flowers have a better chance at survival. That is more than enough for me. Beriathan offers a faint smile. Beriathan, I think it's the right pronunciation. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Awesome. Level 43. At long last. That took a while. Hopefully, I'm hoping I would be able to play a little bit more consistently now. I've been enjoying the expansion so far, but it's been a very fragmented experience for me so far, and I would love it if it could be more consistent, of course. We're gonna ignore Hopnanigans. no interest in Hopnanigans right now. Oh, heavy chest, awesome. I mean, I never engaged with Hopnanigans when you could still find a lot of players in it, and finding a match was really not as hard as it is now. And I know there are workarounds for this so that you can basically get to trigger a match all on your own, but that is so much work in my opinion. It's really not worth it, and I'm not willing to accept the Hopnanigans quest because, as far as I remember, on my other Warden I accidentally accepted this quest once, then I had to turn it in, and that grants you reputation, a Hopnanigans reputation, so that it triggers the reputation bar on your panel, and that low-key triggers me having that reputation still not completed, and I don't want to have that on Beriathan. I much rather complete what I know I am willing and able to complete. That's one reason why I have not done the In League and the Ayla Association yet. Maybe at some point, but until then I'm not going to add them to my panel, no.
What tidings do you bring?
Perhaps the next time you return you shall see the fruit of your labors, and perhaps Brynhilde will not be as dour. She isn't already. She's been great so far. Okay, so that is it for these quests in Ost Lontir, it would seem, and we can either now go to Dol Amroth or Avedek's Watch. So I think the better option now is Dol Amroth. Of course, we can advance the epic a little bit. It's been a while since last we did, and hopefully we'll get some more quests on Dol Amroth that will have us explore the bay and even Avedek's Watch himself. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Is this any good? Yeah, this is something new on the channel. Well, when you are a scholar, there are only a couple places in which you can consistently get your crafting materials, and that's basically enemy camps. So you've never seen me like this, this many diversions from the road looking for crafting mats, but these ones are everywhere, and I'll see if I can escape this. No. This wolf, I don't wanna fight the wolf right now. So if I cannot get my ore peacefully, then let's forget about it. There are plenty of chances to get more of this. I don't remember if I have already mentioned this, but I have my crafting figured out. You could do this with 3 characters. As soon as we get the chance of adding a 4th profession, you can get all crafting covered with just 3 characters. But I'm not doing that because 1, I have already advanced many crafting professions, and I want to keep progress on those professions. But 2, if you do this with only 3 characters, that means that at least one of your characters would have more than 2 professions that will have you work the materials. And I'm not sure if you can join more than 2 crafting guilds. I know back in 2018 one update removed the restrictions you had for only 1 crafting guild, but as far as I remember, the notes mentioned 2. They say something along the lines of now you can join 2 crafting guilds, because back in the day that was the maximum amount of crafting guilds you could potentially join. But now that those restrictions have been lifted, I'm not sure if you can join more than 2 crafting guilds. and I don't want to risk it. And well, top of that, in order for you to get all your crafting covered with just 3 characters in a way that feels natural and integral to each character, what I would do would be having Scholar, Farmer, and Cook on one character. Then you would have Forester, Woodworker, and Tailor on another character. And then on your last one, you would have Prospector, Weaponsmith, Metalsmith, and Jeweler. And that is the character that could potentially join 3 crafting guilds. And I don't know if the game would do that, would allow that. But since that is not the setup that I have on my characters right now, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep Beriathan as it is, Scholar, Weaponsmith, and Prospector now, so that he is fully self-dependent. Then on my other Warden, I'm gonna keep the old school Explorer with Forester, Woodworking, and Tailor. Forester, Prospector, and Tailor. This is a self-dependent character as well. And when I get the chance, when we all get the chance of adding a 4th profession, I'm gonna add Woodworker to the mix, so that he will be still fully self-dependent. Then I have my captain, and on my captain I'm gonna be Prospector, Metalsmith, and Jeweler. Once again, self-dependent and with only 2 guilds to worry about. And then you can pick basically any character you want, because the only things you are missing are Cook and Farmer. And Cook and Farmer are crafting professions that you can level up at any character level, any place. You just need to have some gold to buy the materials, and maybe have your high-level character supply some of the rare ingredients for you, but that is okay. So you just pick whatever character you like and make him Farmer, Cook, and fill the 3rd slot with whatever you like. Or maybe even leave it empty. I'm not sure if you can leave one of your crafting slots empty, but I think you should, right? I have not tried picking professions since the expansion released from scratch, I mean. But I'm gonna do that. I have a mariner that I plan to play as soon as I have more time, and that is the guy that will be my Farmer, Cook / whatever. For Christ's sake. This is a little bit ironic if you think about it, because I'll be a farmer with my mariner, but mariners usually don't spend a long time on Earth, on land, to plant and harvest. But well, nothing you can do about that, and you are a mariner, but 95% of what you do in the game is on land, so it's the same issue anyway. We're gonna check the western entrance of Dol Amroth, because that's where we need to go for the epic, and from there we can still access the rest of the city, so it's not a big deal. I think I'm gonna skip some more deposits, as I really want to advance the story now. The Swan Knight Rossaran waves you to him. Yeah, we finally reunite with Rossaran, here we are.
Let us go to speak with Prince Imrahil, my friend.
And will bring us by the quickest way. After all, I spent many years in service of the city. Okay, an instance. I did not expect this, but let's go.
It is good to see cheer restored to the Palace of the Swan. When last I was here, the mood was grim.
Yeah, that applies for me too. So it's good indeed that everything is working out in the end. Oh, here we have Lothíriel and Dorthaneth. Awesome. What's gonna happen now? And Imrahil back on his throne. Many of the prince's court and the greatest part of his Swan knights went with Imrahil to Minas Tirith for the waging of the war, but his daughter Lothíriel managed the rule of the city while he was away. That Dol Amroth still stands is a testament to her ability, and tells me she has learned much from her father. I was there.
I introduce to the court King Elessar and Queen Arwen and their loyal companions.
Thank you so much, unnamed herald.
I bid you welcome to Dol Amroth and the Palace of the Swan. My daughter and her friends were just leaving.
Is this a poor time? I hope we bring no interruption.
Oh, none at all, my king. Dorthaneth was a help to me when I ruled Dol Amroth while my father was away. She was a dear friend, and remains so. I cherish her visits, but this one was just ending.
I pray you will stay a little longer, leader of the Avorrim. I had hoped to speak with you as well.
Oh, really?
My folk expect my return. I should not keep them waiting.
The Queen asks you to stay. Surely you can heed her wish?
If you would come here, please.
You're gonna send me to the caves, maybe? Just one moment, the queen says to you seriously, retrieving a finely crafted bowl and a glass jar from the recesses of her cloak. She removes the corked stopper from the mouth of the jar and slowly pours the crystal clear water contained within into the bowl, spilling not a drop. Will you set this down on the floor just there? She asks you. What now?
I do not understand what this means, my queen.
This is water from the river Gilrain, which flows out of the White Mountains. You know this water, Dorthaneth, for you drowsed long beside it.
Oh my god, no.
And came to sorrow.
What does she mean?
This cruelty is unbecoming of you, Queen of Gondor. I seek not to be cruel. But there are two hearts to be mended here, not just one. Will you not do your part, Imrahil?
My god, no way.
I have not answered to that name in many years. Maybe so, but there is one here who remembers it.
My god, no. My god, you cannot see me, but my jaw has just hit the floor in a way so hard. I don't remember when was the last time this happened to me. Oh my god, Imrahil. We were just talking about the Amroth a few minutes ago. And ever since we met Dorthaneth in update 14, almost 10 years ago, she has been wearing this veil. Has this been planned ever since my god, 10 years in the making this. I need more answers. This hall is so cold, but the queen wants me to speak, so I shall speak. Long ago, and for always, I dwell within and beside the river Gilrain, and my music was the song of sunlight on the water and of wind in the leaves. But it was a lonely song, for my sisters had gone away and I did not think I would see them again. Animals came to the stream to drink, and birds to bathe, but except for such creatures I was alone and felt the pain of it. Until one day, an elf maid tarried by the river as she journeyed southward from a distant land. She was more beautiful and radiant than anyone I had ever seen. I sang to her and she delighted in my song, for it reminded her of home. She danced beside my stream, and I was so gladdened by her presence that the music I made held more enchantment than ever it had before. She slept on the bank of Gilrain, comfortable and safe, and I was no longer alone. I dreamt that once she awoke she would fashion a home for herself in my wood, and I would teach her my song and she would call me sister. She would have children of her own, elf children of merry eyes and high voices, and I would show them the flower fields and the secret springs, and they would fashion brightly colored petal crowns to wear, and their mother would delight in them. It was a happy dream, but it lasted too long, and when she at last awoke, many seasons had passed. The elf ship that waited in distant harbor for her to arrive could wait no longer. With selfish hands I stole that life from her, and I grieve every day at the sorrow I caused her. I did not intend such sadness to befall, and I would take it back if I could. And yet it is my doing, and the guilt weighs heavily upon my every moment.
I do not expect you to forgive me, Nimrodel. But the Queen wanted me to speak to you of my sorrow. I think that is not cruelty.
I know what cruelty is, Maiden of the Gilrain. The world is cruel and has always been. Can you know my story and say it is not so? Amroth was a king among elves, but to me he was more. He was my love and the brightest star of my night sky. We must depart, Nimrodel, he said to me, for the dwarves have awoken terrible evil, and if we stay it will endanger our folk too. And I believed his words. I believe them still, for I know what befell in the centuries since, as he cannot. Amroth went ahead to make ready the ship. I traveled with a small company to join him at the distant harbor, but the passage of the mountains was hard. The high crags filled me with unease. The rocky way troubled my heart. When at last we descended to the lowlands, I danced in the woods and became separated from my folk. So grateful was I to leave the mountains behind. The sound of the river Gilrain was beautiful, and its music had magic in it. And whatever else befell, I can still remember how it was, and now that I loved it. I slept in peace for too long, and by the time I awoke, a fell wind had come from the north, and driven my love's ship from the shore, never to return. It is said Amroth leapt from the ship and braved the waves that he might wait for me, but never again was he seen by elf or by man, though I walked the shore for the uncounted days and innumerable nights. I dwelt in sorrow from that day forth, never far from the bay where I lost my love, and I have worn this mourning veil for so long I cannot remember the sight of the sun without it. I have held my grief close, but so too has it held me. Until now I believed the weight of those heavy chains was only mine to carry. I did not know you sorrowed too, Maiden of the Gilrain. It was not for you to feel this way. Do not burden yourself with the grief that is mine. I spoke of cruelty. The greatest cruelty is that this sadness must never more than my own, than one heart, and for so many years.
I did not know. There is much sadness in the world, Maiden of the Gilrain. But there is beauty, too.
Are you gonna remove your veil?
I do forgive you, Roaming Star, for your part in what befell. But know that of blame, yours was never the greatest share.
And so concludes my queen's greatest purpose in this journey, Beriathan. She desired to ease Roaming Star's burden, and I believe we would need to visit the cave of the Avorrim to make the attempt. But we were fortunate that Nimrodel was here in the palace of the Swan, and now we have saved some time. I said Arwen's purpose on this journey was ended, but of course mine is only beginning. We must speak with Prince Imrahil about the continued presence of the corsairs that threaten Gondor's shoreline, and also about the rise of the kindred of the coins in Umbar across the Bay of Belfalas. But we have already achieved some good today, for Roaming Star and Nimrodel each deserve the peace and happiness that their sorrows stole from them. I hope we have helped lighten their burdens today. I think we have. I'm still blown away. I'm still utterly blown away by this, and I don't remember the full details of our last visit to Dol Amroth, but I remember Dorthaneth mentioning something about an affinity with Lothíriel because her kind is descended from the Elves somehow, and once again, I don't remember the details, and even the lore from the books itself is hazy at best because it's never fully explained, as far as I remember, how the Elven blood came to the royal family in Dol Amroth. As far as I remember, something like one of the maidens of Nimrodel came to live in here, and that's how the Elven blood came in here, but it's never a certainty of that being the truth, because if it is, it's a little bit problematic, because Tolkien himself was very clear to say that there were only 3 instances of Elven blood and human blood joining, and that is of course Beriathan and Luthien, Tuor and Idril, and Aragorn and Arwen. So I've always been conflicted about this, but I'm mind blown right now. I mean, I've sadly gotten spoiled about some points of the expansion, but never ever would I imagine I would come to meet Nimrodel herself in here and having this twist to her identity. It's just a small part of the lore, and maybe possibly even a small part of this story as well. I'm still blown away. And I'm still questioning for how long has this been planned, because Dorthaneth was introduced in late 2014 or early 2015 at best, alongside a Roaming Star when Central Gondor was introduced as well in 2015. Have they been waiting all this long to reveal this? How can they beat their time for so long? I mean, if I were in the place of Made of Lions and the rest of the LOTRO devs, I mean, building something up for 8 years plus, it has to be time consuming. I mean, Made of Lions has already confirmed that he keeps a document where he has all loose threads that he intends to close at some point or another, and of course we as players know of many of those threads because the game shows them to you, like for example Borangas, the horror in Mordor, and whatever is happening in Rune are things that we really need the answers for. But things like this, I don't think anyone had ever questioned Dorthaneth's identity. I never saw anything on the forums about that, and yet here we are. My god, this is a highlight of this episode and of the entire expansion so far. Nothing can top this for me right now. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take a minute or two to pick the remains of my brain around the floor, and I'll be back with you when I'm ready to continue, when I have calmed myself a little. This was amazing. My god, I cannot tell you how amazing this was for me. So I hope you enjoyed as much as I did, and thank you so much for watching today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. I will see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later. And if you also need to pick your brain as well, pick up your brain as well, and we'll meet on the next one. My god.